Oh, blimey. Okay, there's some more speeches here, but I hope we're going in Earth time this time, so to keep to a decent schedule. Before we get going on the speakers, I just thought I'd like to introduce some of the overseas players that have made it over here, and some of the after that the Great Britain players, Great Britain, England, Great Britain, and Ireland. Because a lot of you here, a lot of you probably know each other. A lot of the players we've all been meeting up again after 20, 30 years, whatever. But yeah, there you go. But many other people, you probably haven't met these people. They're lots of them legends in the game. So I'm just going to start in fairly random order. Can I ask, if I call your name, just stand up and wave to the crowd and sit down again? Can we start with, from New Zealand, Dennis Bullock? Stay standing a second, Dennis. Stay there a second. Dennis made his debut in 2003, and he made the One Series. Let's see, he played 15 matches and won 8 of them, so it's pretty impressive. Right, okay. Next, Bruce Fleming. Bruce is from Australia, played 3 series, 9 tests, played 45 matches and won 25. It's pretty good too. Alan Cleland. Where is he? Okay. Alan was in 2 series, 8 tests, played 21, won 4. Sorry, Alan. It's one of the perks of the job, one of the few. Alan is actually Stephen Pearce's father-in-law. Have I got that right? Right, thank you. Jenny Clark. Jenny is has played in 4 series and won 1. Hello, that's good. 12 tests, 60 matches, won 26. Possibly, I don't know, maybe the most successful Mac female in the current era, I would think. And finally, from New Zealand, Graham Roberts, who's 1 series, 6 tests, 12 matches, 4 wins. Okay. So it's a big round of applause. A lot of them have come halfway around the world. Thank you. Oops. Now some of the Brits. Let's see, what have we got? Let's start at the more recent ones. Ian Lines. Where is he? Linesy. Yeah, well done. There are too many of these to read out all the records. I'll wait till we get to the good records and then. Debbie Cornelius. Okay, 1 series, 1 win, 1 championship win, 3 tests, 15 matches, 12 wins. My old mate Digger, where are you? Ah, okay. All right, where are we going next? I don't think Andrew Hope is here, is he? Okay, all right. Andrew Hope, who couldn't make it. So Martin is going to stand up in his place. 2 series. Sorry, I lost my place. 2 series, one Shield win, 7 tests, 14 matches, 6 wins. Where do we go next? Martin Murray. 3 series, 2 wins, 16 matches, 16 tests, 32 matches, 21 wins. Pretty good. The next one, we're into the 6s now. We've got one here says 6 series, 6 Shield wins, 19 tests, 86 matches, 70 wins. And that's Robert's partner. I couldn't resist it. It's Chris Clark. Stand up again. Chris Clark. Next is, kind of, I wouldn't say he was my mentor exactly, but he was the first top-class croquet player I ever met, because he was a member of my club. We hardly ever saw him down there, but I knew enough. This was in the days when the results were all published in the Telegraph, and I knew that he was in with a chance of getting in the 79 test team, and at the 78, which was going to be announced after the 78 President's Cup. So I went down on the afternoon, because David was there, I was interested to see what happened. And that was where I saw top-class croquet for the first time, and it was just amazing to me. It was in the days where there was a lot of precision croquet. You know, you make a hoop, rush back to a ball, niggle it out a bit, rush to the next hoop. And that was really what got me hooked. So anyway, David's record is... Oops. I'll be with you in a second. David Openshaw. 6 series, 4 Shield wins, 27 tests, 72 matches, 49 wins. Very good. Now I think we're the top 2. One guy you can't really believe is still going. He's like 6 months younger than me and still performing at this level. It's Steve Mulliner. Where are you, Steve? He's 8 series, 5 Shield wins, 25 tests, 98 matches, 59 wins. And finally, a name that's probably pretty famous all around the world, Robert Fulford. Where is he? Robert is 8 series wins, I think uniquely on as many as 7 Shields. Is that right? Is that the record? Yeah. Okay. 24 tests, 111 matches, 93 wins. Sorry? 97. Okay, I think sadly I've discovered the name I'm missing. Samir Patel. Tell us what your record is, Samir.
Record?
Yeah.
Fourth match, 45. We've started this 45 wins, 45 matches, 30 wins.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's our right. What I haven't done really is cover except the exceptional ones, the current Mac players. Just too many to go through the records. So their day will come, I'm sure. Right. Okay. Excuse me a sec. Oh, right. There are a couple of significant events happening during this series. The first one is Mark Avery. Where are you, Mark? Stand up, right. He's known as the Muppet to us. And this series is the 40th anniversary of his first series in 1986. He was one of the first players I played in 1980 when I started playing events from the calendar. And he was 14 at the time, so I could beat him then. That was great. It was great. The good old days. The second one is Stephen Forster. Australia. Okay, and he is reaching in the next round, he's reaching his century of Mac matches. Okay, so that gives you some sort of flavour of the thing. I think we will now move on to the speeches, which, as I say, I hope are bit on the brief side. So, what happened was a year ago. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to introduce him later. All right. Yeah. No, it's true. Right. Sorry. What was I saying? I forgot. Yeah. Sorry. We'll get into the speeches. We've got Mark New in a second, who's going to stand up and say a few words. Mark is the CEO of the Roehampton Club, and he's going to say a few words on behalf of the club. We've then got four players who are democratically enough, one from each of the four Mac nations, who are going to give a bit of a reminiscence. Actually, we haven't conditioned what they're saying at all. We've just let them produce their own speeches, so it could be anything. So can we start with Mark, if you're ready, or if you're not?
It's short, everybody. It is. It is. Good evening, everybody. And on behalf of all the members and the staff at Roehampton Club, can I welcome you to this very special sports club celebrating its 125th year. There is a small gift on your table from the club. Please drink it slowly, as it's our unique club gin, made with the botanicals from our lovely gardens here. So you're welcome to take that home. Croquet has always been an important part of Roehampton Club, being the only sport with continuity throughout our 125 years. We did have 12 lawns at one point, and we now have 4, but 2 are floodlit. And you're sitting in the polo room, and you can see that's the only other sport that has been with us for 125 years. And you can see some of our famous members who used to play polo here pre-war and post-war. From the club's opening in April 1902, we had a close relationship with the Croquet Association and held the main championships every year here until the mid-1950s. We value our strong relationship with Croquet England. The first ever Macrobertson Shield Test match was hosted by Roehampton Club in June 1925, won by England against Australia. Deja vu, I think, is in the last couple of days. Yeah? No, just very partisan, I'm afraid. Our club also hosted matches in the Macrobertson Shield in many years when England was the host country, 1937, 1956, 1974, 2010, and of course this year. We also hosted the first ever major golf croquet event, international between Egypt and the rest of the world in 2008. We're pleased that over the years, Roehampton Club members have regularly played for the England team, and some of the greats of the game are long-standing members, Nigel Aspinall, David Openshaw and Reg Bamford. And we believe the only floodlit croquet lawns in the UK, you can all clearly see that not only croquet flourishes, but we will continue to prosper here at Roehampton Club. Finally, I'd like to personally thank all our committee members, represented by the Chair Charlotte Odes and Captain Howard Roehampton, for all the work behind the scenes, but special mention must go to one person who has been brilliant, the former Chair, Lynn Piercy. Can I have a round of applause? And lastly, it would be remiss of me not to thank my team, but especially the head groundsman, Chris Hughes, and his deputy, Simon Bailey. Their whole team, we always know that we have excellent lawns here, but they've excelled themselves again for you, and I hope you've really enjoyed playing on our 4 fabulous lawns. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark. Oop. Right, okay. The first of our national body representatives, can I ask, well, it's Matthew Essick of the USA. I've got his record here. Well, of course, USA are the Johnny-come-latelys, obviously, We've got an order that is in reverse order of when you join the competition. Okay, so that would be USA. Matthew has played in 2 series. Is that right? 4 tests, 19 matches, 12 wins. Pretty good. Okay.
Thank you, Phil. I've played in 2 tests, so to speak. One of them I got to play in 1 week of the test due to being in high school, so they wouldn't really let me off for much more than that. But 2 tests is still what it is. I just want to start off by thanking everybody for being here tonight and share how thankful I am to be speaking on behalf of the USA and the USCA. And I want to thank the Hurlingham Club in Roehampton for hosting such a great first week, the Macrobertson Shield. You guys did a great job. Thank you. With the lawns being very similar to what we experienced in the States, we were hoping for a better result in the first week. Didn't work out in our favor. Maybe the second week with tough lawns at Southwick will go better in our favor. We'll see how that works out. But I really want to start off, representing the former players that played for the United States in the MAC. From players like Jerry Stark and Damon Bidencope. Jenny's here tonight representing Damon and Jeff Sue, and then some of the more current players like Danny Honeycutt, Jim Bast, and Doug Grimsley. We have a shorter time frame than a lot of the other countries, but we have a lot of guys that have laid the foundation for the players that are playing today. And I just want to thank those guys for participating in this and really teaching us how to represent our country and play at the in international competitions at the top level. So I want to thank those guys as well. I really, Phil, as he mentioned, didn't really give us a baseline for what this should be. So one thing I wanted to do is just tell a couple of stories. I'll give you a couple of short stories about my experience in test matches, 2 of them coming from the Solomon, 1 of them coming from the MAC. I'll start with probably my favorite of the 3. I played the Solomon in 2018 at Surbiton, and it was a very difficult year at Surbiton. We played the Championship of Surrey prior to the Solomon. There was 1 TP in the Championship of Surrey, and then we played the Solomon right after. There was no TPs. It was the first tournament I'd been to where if you ran 9 hoops, all 12 players gave you a standing ovation because they thought it was a pretty impressive turn. Anyway, after the second day, there was this guy at the club who I was having a conversation with, and he was talking to me about how to test the speed of a lawn. And I was having a conversation with him, and he said, this is how we've always done it. I said, no, sir, that's not right. My dad taught me how to do the plumber system growing up. This is how you do it. We went back and forth. We were arguing for probably 20 minutes and didn't ask for his name. And so after the conversation, he said, "Oh, by the way, my name's Ian Plummer. Great to meet you." And I very quickly learned how ignorant and foolish I was in that conversation, but you live and you learn. So that was a very quick learning experience in one of my first Solomons. The second one, I'm going to give a little credit to two of the English guys over here. The first Solomon I played in was in 2015 in Pinehurst. And gosh, how old was I? I was 16 at the time. I got selected to the team, didn't really expect to get selected. I think I was the 9th ranked player in the States at the time. But young, up-and-coming player, they decided to put me on the team. I had no clue what I was doing. I knew how to hit a ball straight. I knew how to throw a break together, but 7-yarders were considered 1-yarders at that time. And anyway, my first singles match, I played against Pete Trimmer. I was playing in the 6 slot, and Pete was the 5. And he did a TP in game 1. I won game 2, and then in game 3, he ran 9. I decided to do a TPO, and I'm for hoop 1, he's for hoop 3. And after finishing the TPO, I realized very quickly that I've never done a TPO. I have no idea what I'm doing. But growing up in the States, a lot of our tiebreakers for people that are tied in block play was 1 ball. And so I said, well, I've played tons of games of 1 ball. I'm just going to peg both balls off the lawn, and I'm down 2 hoops, but I'll find a way to win. Pegged them both off the court. Pete scores 3, I've scored 1, and then I set up at hoop 2. Score hoop 2, set up at 3, score 3, and shoot at him in corner 4. And he had missed into corner 4, shot him in corner 4, I missed, and he proceeds to finish from corner 4. And following the match, James Deeth and Jamie Birch take me over to the 4th court at Pinehurst and teach me how to play 2 versus 1 in games. And we're still in a test. It's still up for grabs. And yet they proceeded to go out of their way to teach me how to play a 2 versus 1 in game. And yes, they didn't teach me everything, admittedly. But it was pretty eye-opening in my first MAC, meeting a lot of these guys for the first time, and the fact that they were willing to go out of their way to really show me the ropes and teach me a couple of things. And I think that's really what the MAC is all about. Yes, we're all competing at the top level, and yes, we're all trying to win. But at the same time, there's friendships that you cultivate over years, and I think that's really a testament to the people that represent their countries in these events, but also a testament to what this competition is. And then I've got one more story for you. This is from the last MAC. It's my 1 MAC story. And Zach Watson and I are playing doubles at Cairnley against Stephen Forster and Ian DeMerg. And if you know Zach or I, you've seen both of us play. We don't take our time for much. We see what we want to do and we go with it. And Ian DeMerg, on the other hand, likes to take his time. He likes to be a little bit more deliberate about what he's doing. And this happened to be the day at Cairnley that we had hail, sleet, rain, 40-mile-an-hour winds, and all of you that were there know exactly what I'm talking about. And there happened to be hail coming down sideways. And as soon as the hail stopped, we all went back out to play. And but it's freezing. And I gave a lot of credit to the New Zealand team because all the New Zealand team had these hand warmers. And I was like, gosh, what a great idea. That's just, how did we not think of something like this? So I'm freezing. I run 5 or 6 hoops, and I decide to come into the clubhouse just to warm up my hands. And I'm sitting right in front of the clubhouse, and there's the glass door behind me, and I have my hands in my pocket like this, and Steven bangs on the door like 3 or 4 times, and I turn around, and he opens the door, and he says, "You've got to get back out there and play." He's like, "It's your turn. You can't, reasonable dispatch. You've got to get back out there and play." And I think a lot of you know me well enough that I tend to be a pretty kind guy. But I look at Steven, and I said, he was talking about pace of play. He said, "You've got to play faster." I said, "Have you seen your partner play?" And Steven looks right at me. He laughs. He says, "Fair point." He closes the door, and he walks back inside. And that's probably my favorite MAC memory so far. So I just wanted to share a couple of stories with you guys. And thank you guys again for all the welcoming invite to Roehampton and Hurlingham. And thanks for letting me speak on behalf of the United States. And looking forward to the next 2 weeks and sharing the courts with you guys and hopefully making more friendships as we go. Thank you, guys.
Matthew Essex, you didn't really need a bass line, did you? Okay, just before we go on to the next one, Matthew stole a bit of the thunder. I was going to pay reference to Damon Bidencope and the fact that his wife and daughter are here. Somebody else more closer to home who died very recently was Colin Irwin, who played for, was a Mac player and played for Ireland for a long time. And we have Mike Sandler here. Am I looking the right way? Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking over here. Mike Sandler was a very good friend of Colin at Bowden Croquet Club and is here partly in honour of Colin Irwin. So thank you, Mike, for coming. Another player, probably one of the most respected and loved players in croquet of all time, certainly in the modern era, would be John Prince of New Zealand. I think he was universally loved. His style was absolutely fantastic and silky. I don't need to eulogise too much because the next speaker is Paddy Chapman from New Zealand, who was mentored by John Prince. And I remember in 2018, was it when you won the World Championship and John was there and you could just see the look in his eye like a doting father over Paddy. So I'm just going to hand over to Paddy now to tell us a bit about that.
Good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? So just before I say anything else, I would just like to acknowledge the USA team. It really was an honour to play you guys over the last 5 days. It was a test match that could have gone either way. We feel very fortunate to have come out on top. So I just want to take a minute to acknowledge that. So when I was asked to speak tonight, I was told I had a 5-minute limit. Personally, if you ask me, I think that 5-minute limit was probably introduced because if you get croquet players talking about their favourite matches, we could be here at midnight.
Do that afterwards.
Granted. But I promise to keep my turn short. Particularly, it's probably fair to say I'm probably not known for my communication skills. And although I have a relatively short history in croquet compared to some in this room, only just about 30 years, just taking a step back, looking around this room, people like David Openshaw and William Pritchard, it's just names I read about as a kid. It's just a surreal experience for me. Just awesome to be here. It's fair to say that I think everyone who has ever played in the Macrobertson Shield would probably agree it's the pinnacle of croquet. I can't necessarily speak for other nations, but I think for New Zealanders, it represents something more than just another world championship. For those of you unaware, in New Zealand, we have a cultural concept known as mana. It's a Māori word. It encompasses prestige, spiritual power, authority, status, things like that. It's not something that is claimed, it's something that is earned through integrity, honesty, excellence, and the respect of your peers. The sheer hard work on the lawns that all the members of the team have put in over the last year to earn their place has been really inspiring. To Kiwis, the Macrobertson Shield itself holds an immense amount of mana. It's not just another croquet tournament, it's much bigger than that. I felt the true weight of that when we won the Shield on home soil in 2014. What made that series really special for me wasn't just winning it on home soil, but it was actually the presence of 4 greats of the game that followed that tour across New Zealand. That being John Prince, Joe Hogan, Roger Murfitt, and Paul Skinley. 2 of those names are no longer with us, sadly. these 4 genuine legends. They actively took part in that tour. They followed us around from venue to venue, you know, from the South Island to the North Island, on the sidelines almost every single day to watch us lift the shield. Lifting the shield with those that sort of paved the way for us in the decades previous was my croquet highlight of my career. Joe and Roger have been following the tour avidly already. I mean, in fact, I've only been in the country for 13 days, but I've already had 13 messages of support from Joe Hogan. One every day, as has every other member of the New Zealand team. So I would just like to speak a little bit about my previous Mac experience, some of the highlights, some of the lowlights. So while I was talking about legends, there's a big difference between you know, standing with legends and being sort of thrown headfirst into them. And that was my experience when I made my Mac debut 20 years ago, 2006. I was dropped straight into the deep end. My very first doubles and singles matches were against arguably the best player there's ever been in the game, Robert Fulford. This was just days after watching him complete a 2-ball break of 108 and then stopping under control for lunch. I don't think that has yet been beaten. So my singles match against Rob in my first McRob was also played on a 15-second bowling green, just to add to the experience. So I was fully in the deep end. I actually had to wait until the second test, the 6th day of play, the 7th day of the event, to actually record my first point. But it did teach me that one good lesson is that you can't play the reputation of the person across from you. You just have to control your own mallet and trust your preparation. And that resilience that I learned from that experience allowed me to spend 2 decades competing alongside current Kiwi greats like Greg Bryant and Aaron Westerby, sharing the lawns with overseas stars that I grew up reading about, like giants of the game like Stephen Mulliner, figuratively speaking. Sorry, Stephen, sorry. Jerry Stark, it was a great honour to meet and play against Jerry Stark. I know he was one of the forefathers of USA croquet. I was a little bit annoyed when he managed to peg out back through Rover against me in our only match, but it was a great experience nonetheless. Stephen Forster, another current legend of the game, playing in your 7th Mac and bringing up your 100th Mac match in this series. That's an amazing achievement. I would just like to take a moment also to talk more about John Prince. He's the man that taught me everything I know about croquet. He competed across 9 separate McRobs over a 40-year international career between 1963 and 2003. And I believe he was the first player to play 100 McRob matches. So I am in fact wearing on my blazer this evening his badge from the 1963 Macrobertson Shield. In the 1963 series, he competed alongside the likes of Arthur Ross, who was one of the forefathers of New Zealand croquet. John passed away in early 2023, a few months after the last McRob. He is remembered as one of the nicest guys in croquet, and honestly one of the best players I've ever seen hit a croquet ball. On a personal level, this is my first McRob where John hasn't had some involvement, whether in the build-up or in the form of a daily email of encouragement to myself or to the team. It's something of a passing of the torch. I feel a sense of duty as a member of the New Zealand team to continue the legacy that John built for a generation of New Zealand players. Now, as technically one of the old guys in the team, it's awesome to be able to share some wisdom with the newer players in our team, like Ed, Felix and Logan. Croquet is a relatively small world. It's a very small world. Because of that, most bonds we form are tight. So over my 20 years, the Mac has been the catalyst for some of the most meaningful friendships of my life. So we push each other to the limit on the lawn. We sit down, share a drink, laugh about it afterwards, sometimes for years. It's a fierce but mutual respect that spans hemispheres. So thank you to the organisers, staging an excellent Mick Rob so far, and to my teammates, opponents and friends. Thanks for the battles, the laughs, the shared history. I look forward to more in the coming tests, and the mentors who passed the torch down to us. Thank you for protecting the mana of this great game. Thank you very much.
I of course completely forgot to read out Paddy's record. 5 series, 1 Shield win, 15 tests, 74 matches, 49 wins. Okay, next up from Australia, Stephen Forster, the Centenary man. His record is 6 series, 1 Shield win, 18 tests, 90 matches, 38 wins. Stephen Forster. Oh.
Thanks, Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow croquet players, firstly, I'd just like to let you know, for those that don't know me, I was actually born into the game. My mum played up to 2 days before I was born. The doctor said that this child will be born with a mallet in its hand. I got my first croquet set when I was 5. She joined me to the Lismore Croquet Club when I was 10. I won my first open tournament at 11. Yeah. My mum made it to 100 years, 0.7. Yeah. So as I grew up, my mentors were the ladies at the Lismore Croquet Club. Then as I got a bit better, my heroes and mentors were 2 top players from Victoria, who also played for Australia. They were Alan Cleland and George Latham. They helped me develop and improve my game, and through croquet, you meet some great people travelling around Australia and the world. I really look forward to catching up to the players I haven't seen for a year or 3. Some of them are here today and you have a good joke with them as well. What's been going on with their lives, work, family, tell a few jokes, but it's the love of this beautiful game we play that hold our friendships together. Over the years, you learn some lessons. Some of those lessons, not every game is the same, and you have to take the wins with the losers, or losses, sorry. That can be a bit hard when you're a youngster and just cruising through the divisions, and you come up against the big boys like Alan and George, and you get your ass whipped with triple peels. Didn't even know what they were. Had no idea what they meant. So some experiences in the MAC was my first in 2003 at West Palm Beach, Florida. My partner made 9, Oppo made 3, I hit and tripled. Next game, my partner made 9, Oppo missed, I tripled. I was amazed that just a junior player like myself had finished well before the other teams, like the greats of the other nations that were playing. In 2010, I was here for the MAC. All the players had the full use of the gym, pool, spa, etc. So Ian Demerg and I went and used the facilities. This day we went into the spa, and not much steam in here, so Ian pulled on the rope a couple of times. Still no steam came out, but all of a sudden the door opened. It was the lifeguard saying, "Are you guys okay?" I haven't been back there since. What does the MAC mean to me? To represent your country against the other countries is the ultimate. It's like the Davis Cup, world soccer without the huge crowds. But the spectators are just as passionate to come and watch us play, applauding great shots and play, but in their minds, why are they doing that? That's part of the lessons to be learned. The pinnacle for me is being in the winning MAC team in 2017, when Australia hadn't won it for 83 years. Telling people that you are a world champ, you can see the surprise or questioning in their minds till you show them on Google for proof. So 3 weeks before we came over, the secretary of my Belmont Croquet Club had been given some photos by a lady whose mother was the president of the Belmont Croquet Club back in 1930. This particular photo is of Macrobertson opening the new lawn at Belmont Croquet Club. So it was amazing in 1930 he did this. So in its original position when it was opened. So just finally, on behalf of the Australian team, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the organisation of this event, and especially the greenkeepers and his crew, the referees, volunteers, and the members of the clubs for allowing us to use their courts. Thank you very much.
Okay, now finally the English representative, but Welsh actually. William Pritchard, 5 series wins, 3 Shields won, 26 tests, 53 matches, 33 won. Just before he gets going, you've had some reference, I think, to the Pritchard family, who are a bit of a dynasty, and around William's mother and father were still around. His mother was still playing when I started, and he had 3 brothers that went on for some time. And I wish I could say it about William, but I can say it about his father. When it comes to croquet, he wrote the history.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah. I was humbled and honoured to be asked to speak tonight. I realise there are several other better qualified Englishmen with more caps than the triumvirate of, i.e. the triumvirate of Fulford, Clark and Maughan, also Stephen Mulliner, David Openshaw and Mark Avery. Unfortunately, you've got me. I think back in the day, there were always young players blooded into the Macrobertson Shield. New Zealand have maintained this by and large, but I fear that this has not been the case recently in this country. Sorry, Jack, you're an exception, and congratulations. However, many of us were about your age on debut, or earlier. Back in the Jurassic period, I was first selected for Great Britain in the 1974 series. In this country, played under the old format of 9 3-day test matches, each with 6 singles and 3 doubles. The series lasted for 6 weeks, with 8 venues, including here at Roehampton. Of course, this was well before the USA were welcomed into the competition. Luckily, Trump hasn't interfered with any referees' decisions yet. Early days, you may say. The 21-match format introduced for 1990 was my final Macrobertson Shield appearance. From the 74 GB 10-player squad, all of whom played in at least 1 test match, only 4 are still with us. Sadly, Nigel Aspinall, with a 12 out of 12 record in 1969, and Paul Hans, who once completed 6 peels on his sextuple, but failed to run 3 back. Undoubtedly one of our greatest young talents at the time, and they couldn't attend tonight. But I am delighted that Martin, the mighty mouth of the Murray, is here in his 66th year in croquet. Given this nickname in the 82 series, appropriately in Adelaide, where it was toasty, reaching 40.7 degrees. That's cool, yeah? We made a lasting tour of the wineries. We made a tasting tour of the wineries outside Adelaide. At one, Keith Wiley asked the proprietor where the spittoon was. Aghast to be answered, "Mate, in Australia, we drink the bloody stuff, not spit it out." I always thought that the touring teams had an advantage, as they spent many weeks together and bonded rather better. The New Zealand 1979 tour required an 8-week period away, and the Australian 82 one slightly reduced to 6 weeks. You're lucky now, you only barely paid 2 weeks. Luckily for me, serving in the British Army, I was granted fully paid leave for both. The all-conquering New Zealand team in 1986 certainly did benefit. The current format has shortened this bonding time dramatically. However, this can have the reverse effect. This happened in 1974, when Neil Spooner had a bust-up with the Green Dragons and did not play in the final 2 tests for Australia. The fallout continued to 1979, when many top Aussie players, such as Neil, John Magor, Spencer Buck and Barry Chambers, did not make themselves available. Australia thus fielded a weak team and suffered 3 9-0 defeats by New Zealand. The great thing about the Macrobertson Shield are the friends you make and the legends you meet. For me, these must include Kiwis, John Prince, of course, a good friend, Roger Murfitt, Paul Skimley, Joe Hogan, and laughing boy, Bob Jackson. Aussies, Spencer Buck, Neil Spooner, John Magor, Mark Prater, and George Latham. And of course, from the mighty USA, Jerry Stark. Legends I met were Eddie Hunt, an Australian, pre-war, Second World War, John Solomon, Ashley Heenan, William Ormerod, and Gordon Rowling. Or Rowling. And also at Chatswood, Neil Harvey, the celebrated Australian cricketer, who now at 97 is the oldest living Test cricketer. My greatest friend was John Prince. 4 of the GB 82 team gathered together to witness John's memorial service live on Zoom at 1 a.m. British summertime in August 3 years ago. Sadly, the 5th surviving member, Stephen, let croaky get in the way. What's this? That's yours. Finally, I'd like to mention some random memories of the Macrobertson Shield over the years. 1974. At number 1, John Prince's unseating of Nigel Aspinall in his prime, winning 3-0 in their encounters. Or me being appointed at Cheltenham, remember I was playing in this event, as referee in charge for Bob Jackson versus Barry Chambers. The latter, who thought that Bob's roll strokes were questionable. True. No, not true that they were questionable, true that I was appointed. 1979, the GB minibus journeys to venues travelling throughout the South and North Islands. The team drivers varied hugely in standard. Or the 2-hour journey on an extremely winding road from Nelson to Picton to catch the ferry to Wellington. Jackie Openshaw, who's here tonight, accompanying David on the tour, and unbeknown to us in early pregnancy, felt pretty sick. I was driving, actually. Some of our team had heard of the Cook Straits were the roughest piece of calm water in the world, so opted to fly to the North Island. Wimps. Actually, the crossing was on a mill pond. Or the nightly lyre dice sessions within the Great Britain team. Or Colin Pickering's gruelling win over Bernard Neal, +1/+1 after 9 sweltering hours at Nelson. Or Paul Skinley's sextuple in the final test. Yes, we did them in those days. At Perth, 1982, at Perth in team practice. Stephen Mulliner again disappeared to view butterflies with the keys to both our cars, leaving us stranded till his return hours later. Or Keith Wiley's 32-hoop 2-ball break, not as good as you, Robert. Under floodlight, though, at North Perth Club. Or in Sydney, when the New Zealand team tried to neutralise me with alcohol at their hotel the night before my match with Barry Chambers. Oh. Or at Hutt Road, Adelaide, when an Aussie player played a continuation stroke to peel both his closely adjacent balls through Rover without calling a referee. GB lost that close match and the test match 4-5. Less said about that is best. In the closely contested series, 6 matches ended 5-4. Or Keith Wiley's triumphal tactical victory over Neil Spooner at 4-all to win the Shield at North Brighton in Melbourne. Or my astonishment that 3 of the GB team, 3 of whom were Oxbridge graduates, didn't even know the words to Rule Britannia. They are, of course, Rule Britannia, Britannia, rule the waves. And many more which will remain untold. Thank you to the huge number of volunteers without which this event couldn't take place. Remember, everyone in any role is a volunteer, from top to bottom. So let us raise a glass to the future of the Macrobertson Shield, and to those who are no longer with us, and to all other Macrobertson players, and to former and current officials. The Macrobertson Shield. I'm going to drink. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, I'll tell you, that's yours.
Okay, that's the speeches for you. I think we can safely say we've heard a broad spectrum of views from Macrobertson Shield throughout the years. I think, just on a final personal note, the thing that strikes me is that all the talk of friendships, which start early and carry on forever. I think that the thing, we had a rehearsal about a year ago on the anniversary of the 100th anniversary of the Macrobertson Shield here at the club. excuse me, with about, I guess, about 16 of us, people that had involvement, people from the London area that had involvement, significant involvement, I guess, in the Macrobertson Shield, and club members here. And basically what happened, we had the lunch. Most of the club members drifted away, leaving the croquet players, who then just sat there for 2 or 3 hours reminiscing, kind of on it would have been called a podcast these days, I think. And it's the thing to me is the number of people I've met during this edition that I haven't seen for 20, 30, 40 years, and you seem to just pick up where you left off as if there was no gap. So on that, can I thank the Roehampton Club? Can I thank the Roehampton Club, who provided much better service than the Hurling Club? For everything they've done, especially bringing, this group of people back together. Like I say, hadn't met for 20 or 30 years, plus the new generation. It's been fantastic. I personally just thank everybody for coming and hope that the rest of the event goes as successfully as this. Thank you.